Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we are doing 1991's Boyz N The Hood.
Whoever requested this, like straight up, you're a dickhead. I feel like you set us up because we have no place talking about this.
No, we don't.
I have no concept. I've been to Compton literally one time, and you know why? It's because my dad got off on the fucking freeway on the wrong exit. That's it.
Yeah, you got it.
Let's discuss, shall we?
Yes, please.
Before we get started, if you want to contact us or reach out to us on Twitter, you can reach out to me at Junior D's. You can reach out to Corey at Idle Poncho. And let's get into Boyz N The Hood, and we'll start with the cast, because this cast was awesome. We'll start with Cuba Gooding Jr. as Trey, Laurence Fishburne as Furious. In this movie, he's still Larry Fishburne. Angela Bassett as Reva, Morris Chestnut as Ricky, Ice Cube as Doughboy, Tyra Farrell as Mrs. Baker, Regina King as Shalika, and Nina Long as Brandy.
Dude, this cast is unbelievable. And we didn't even mention yet the fact that this was written and directed by John Singleton. Dude, this is a fucking masterclass in how to make a movie. It really is.
Dude, front to back, this movie's a banger. Like, yes. I'm not even going to wait till the end for the big reveal. Dude, this movie is so good. The actors are great. And this was 1991. Okay? I just watched Regina King in this. She's in The Watchmen 30 years later, and she looks exactly the same. She hasn't aged.
She's an absolute goddess. If I know a lot of people like put pictures in their house, like Jesus, JFK, Martin Luther King. My picture in my house is one, and it's Regina King. She wins.
Did you just say Regina King is Jesus? She's like on
I said she's all three of them. Yes, I'll fucking die on that hill. I will die on that.
I love it, and I agree with it. I love Regina King. Let's dive into this. So this story opens in 1984. A young Trey Styles, who lives with his mother, Reva, in a rough section of Los Angeles, on the way to school. His friends show, the crime scene. And this sets up Trey's a little bit different. Like, Trey's incredibly smart. He knows that the blood is separated from the hemoglobin and the plasma and all that stuff. So
he just
that.
Taught me that.
Yeah, so right from the beginning, that this dude's smart. They go to school, and in class, listening to their teacher talk to them about pilgrims and Thanksgiving.
Racist ass teacher. This bitch is I'm pretty sure her name was Miss Karen. That's why that phrase was transformed into what it is today.
I don't know what her name is in the credits, but it should be Miss Karen.
It's Miss Karen.
Yeah. So
and it's not even Miss, it's Ms. She makes you say Ms.
Yes. Trey laughs at this whole discussion about the pilgrims and, whatever. And so she makes him get up and, lecture the class. So he starts lecturing the class about Africa. Him and his buddy get into a scuffle and they fight. He gets suspended. He gets back home. His mom is on the phone with the racist ass teacher.
Oh, dude.
She's like, do you have a job? Is his dad
do you have an education? And Angela Bassett's having none of it.
His father.
Yes, his father. Or did you think we made babies by ourselves?
If this was real life, I have a feeling that Angela Bassett would have hung up the phone outside of just going, yeah, he won't be back there because he's going to live with his dad. I'm getting my master's degree, and hang up. And then I would picture Angela Bassett driving to the school, beating the shit out of the teacher, and then taking him to his dad's house. That's how I see that.
I go the other way with Angela Bassett, where she would just be like, oh, cool, son's not coming back, get my master's degree, yeah. She's going to change her major to education, end up being the principal of that school, and just torturing that racist bitch for the rest of her life.
She's going for the long play on this one.
Oh, man. She fucked with the wrong Angela Bassett.
She takes him to his dad's house, Furious, played by Laurence Fishburne. They get into discussion. He needs a man in his life to teach him how to be a man, and then I can go to school, and then basically when I'm done, he could come live with me.
And right off the bat, too, we learned that Furious is not taking any shit. He offers the neighbor kids, he offers Doughboy, little Chris, all the fucking $5 to clean up the yard. And they're like, no, I'm good. Which was me, by the way, when somebody was like, yo, I'll give you $5 to mow my lawn. I don't need $5 that bad. Get the fuck out of here. So, but Furious just turns around and is like, okay, cool. Trey, clean up this shit. And just walks in the house. It was amazing. Like they set up his character so well in that first scene. Just, he's good dad, loves his son, ready to take up the charge, but also he's not going to take any shit.
Well, the first night that he's there, dude breaks in, Laurence Fishburne loads the gun, takes 2 shots at the dude gets away, but there's 2 gigantic holes from Furious's fucking hand cannon. They call the police, takes the police an hour to get there, and then Laurence Fishburne and the cop here have this like uncomfortable exchange. When I saw this in 91, 92, I think, I didn't understand this whole, like, I was young. I didn't understand like that whole thing. I was like, I don't get it.
You gonna learn.
Watching it now, because of course, like I grew up in the fucking, my hood was suburban Glendale, Arizona. So I understood completely what was happening here. No, I didn't get a goddamn thing when I was a kid. It was going on in this. Yeah. But watching it now, living in the world we do, it's just like, fuck. And what kept ringing through my head was the NWA song, Fuck the Police. Yeah. The one line. Cause they'll slam you down to the street top. Black police showing out for the white cop. Yeah. That's all that kept ringing out in my head is like, dude, this is just fucking sad.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's just, and instead of being what you should be to help change from the inside, you're just perpetuating everything.
Exactly. And Laurence Fishburne gives a fucking great line here because the cop is like,
something wrong?
And he says here,
something wrong? Yeah. It's just too bad you don't know what it is, brother.
Laurence Fishburne in this movie, normally we say with our movies at the end, if you want to see him in a better movie, check him out in this, check her out in that. This is the best performance. One of the best performances I've ever seen in a movie because he is that character 100% down the line. And 2, every scene he's in is just powerful and it resonates with you.
Yeah.
He doesn't open his mouth just to talk.
Yes. Yes.
And it's amazing.
And that goes to the, since John Singleton wrote and directed this goes to the writing in this too. There isn't a whole, like every scene in this movie, there's no fat on this movie. Like every scene sets up something else.
Yeah, you got it.
Through the opening scenes in this, you see that Doughboy and Ricky have this like weird, strained relationship. They're obviously living at home with their mom, and they have 2 different dads. She obviously favors Ricky and just berates fucking Doughboy throughout this whole goddamn movie.
Which is so sad because you see, like, not only have they taken different paths, but you see how Doughboy got taken down that path.
Yeah.
But you also see as the movie progresses that he's the most intelligent one of any of these characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was never nurtured. It was never encouraged to be brought out. So he has to use his intelligence in other places. Ricky's borderline learning disabled.
Yes.
It seems like through this movie, just through his decision making throughout that we'll discuss through this making. It's like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And because he had that different father, he was more special.
Yeah.
And then obviously because he's developing into a football player throughout the movie and has the most opportunity to get out, he's especially favored.
Furious and Trey drive back home from after fishing. They see the police car outside of Doughboy's house. Doe and Chris are being arrested for shoplifting.
It shows that Furious being hard on him, being hard on Trey, making Trey stick to that schedule. We're going fishing. I don't give a shit what you're doing with your friends. In that instance, Trey was that close to being right there with them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because that was the only reason he didn't go to that supermarket or the store, wherever the fuck they went.
Yeah.
Was because he had to go with Furious to go fishing. So, again, like you said, there's no fat. Everything leads to something else.
After this scene, that's when it flashes forward 7 years later. They're at a cookout being held at Rookie and Doe's house for Doughboy's, because he's just been released from prison. Trey finds Doughboy playing dominoes with Chris, who's now in a wheelchair. You also have Brandy at the party. She's now Trey's girlfriend. Trey's weird about dating Brandy because basically she ain't fucking. So he has this like weird strained, they're dating, but it's like this weird strained relationship because she's not giving it up. He does the whole like walk away here where he's like, I just need to gather my thoughts. Yes. She just leaves. She's like, fuck this dude, and leaves. Ricky obviously is also at the party. We see that now he's a father. He has an infant son. His girlfriend is living with them at his mom's house. Trey here, he's leaving the party. He's crossing the street. He gets rolled up on by these, 3 or 4 dudes in the car. They pull out the sawed-off shotgun. He tries to act tough and like stand his ground here, but you can obviously tell that he's also shitting in his pants.
Yeah.
And dude, he hangs on to the barbecue. Because he's taking a plate of barbecue home for his dad. If you pull out a fucking double barrel fucking sawed off on me and I'm trying to act hard, let me tell you something. That fucking barbecue's all over the ground.
Yeah.
Or I'm handing it to them. Like, do you want some barbecue? Please. Just don't fucking kill me.
That night, while Doughboy hangs out on his front porch with his friends, the dude from USC comes in to talk to Ricky about coming to USC on a football scholarship.
At this point, I'm realizing this movie is flying by. Again, talk about no fat on this movie.
Yeah.
If you've seen it, it's very much 3 acts to this movie.
Yeah.
And we're in the second act at this point. They are flying by. And again, you're losing nothing. There is no substance loss. At this point in time in the movie, you know exactly who everybody is.
He basically tells Ricky here that all you have to do to qualify for the scholarship is to take the SAT and score 700 or higher.
They showed this well, that Doughboy, with all his bluster and all his bullshitting, he's actually a good dude because he's like getting his boys to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
He's showing the guy in. You know what I mean? Like he's making sure Ricky's not embarrassed tonight.
Yes. Yeah.
Whether or not it has anything to do with catching shit from your mother, having to fucking put up with anything, getting thrown out of the house, whatever. He's making sure Ricky's taken care of in this scenario.
Yeah.
Which, again, is a beautiful scene. And I really like the line at the end where it seems like Ricky has only been encouraged to play football.
Yes.
So when he asked him about, when the recruiter asked him what he would like to major in, that's the first time anybody's even asked him that. Like, I'm surprised he didn't say football. You know what I mean? Like, he had no idea that was even a thing. And I like how the recruiter basically pumps him up here, like, young man, you can do anything you put your mind to.
Yeah.
It was a really good scene because you could see that one line resonate on Ricky's face. Morris Chestnut did a great job with that too. Just the kind of like, fuck, I guess I can.
Yeah.
Like this man who went to college, who's representing this university, just told me I can do whatever I put my mind to. First time he's ever heard that, I guarantee it.
A few days later, they take the SAT exam. They go to Furious's office here. He has them drive to a neighborhood in Compton where there's the large billboard advertising for cash for your home. And then Furious gives them the lesson on gentrification here.
Dude.
This whole scene, like, again, this is 1991, right?
Yep.
it's 2021, and I don't think that in general, like as far as the populace goes in this country, I don't think anybody knew what gentrification even meant until about 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah, you gonna learn.
What happened to Brooklyn is what everybody first asked.
Yeah, and it was like, yeah, white hipsters moved in with fucking beards and their goddamn IPAs, and it's like, I fucking hate those people anyway. The fuck out of my neighborhood. This dude's already talking about it in 91. This whole scene, you know, he talks about keeping the black communities together and black-owned businesses and keeping your money, you know, with our... And he brings up a great point here.
Black-owned with black money. Just like the Jews, the Italians, the Mexicans, and the Koreans do.
This entire scene when he's just... And everybody just kind of like comes in and starts listening to him. And he basically becomes the professor here.
I love how he checks the old head too, because it's such a, and this is the brilliance of Singleton's writing. The older guy says, you know, well, it's nobody else driving the prices down in here. It's these guys. Immediately, Furious checks him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you know, how the fuck do you think we don't own any ships? We don't own any planes. How the fuck do you think this crack and drug bullshit's getting in this country?
But we are not the people who are flying and floating that shit in here.
Lead this to a PSA. Hi, old heads. Uncle Corey here. Stop watching Fox News, because they're going to give you that snapshot portrait of what's going on.
Yes.
Instead of actually telling the fucking story. Because that's it. And then when Furious goes on to talk about the guns and why is there a gun store everywhere? You go to Beverly Hills, you don't see that shit. What he says is, again, 100% correct. They want us to kill each other.
No, absolutely.
It's population control. Nothing more.
Again, this whole scene from front to back is fucking awesome. And Trey and Ricky then drive to see Doughboy and his friends on Crenshaw. While they're talking, dude walks by and deliberately shoulder blasts Ricky. Doughboy gets out of the car, and again, I love this scene from Ice Cube is awesome because he just gets out of the car and he's like, "We got a problem here?"
This is demonstrating Doughboy's intelligence in this situation. We talk about situational awareness in all of these movies, right? Ricky's trying to show out like it's a fucking high school fight. Yeah. Oh, you got a problem? Huh? That's what we used to do in high school. You got a problem? Push you. No, I'm going to push you back. That bullshit's not flying right there in that moment.
Yes,
Cube
exactly.
knows it. So when Doughboy gets out of the car and immediately shows his piece, he's taking it to that progression. It's going to go no matter what. He's just being the first one to get it done.
Exactly.
And again, showing that he cares about Ricky. If he didn't really love Ricky, he wouldn't have stepped up. He didn't have to do a goddamn thing in that situation.
And I'm glad you brought that up because they show this throughout the movie. Like even in when they're going to see, you guys want to see a dead body? And they go to see the dead body. Ricky brings his football and he's like, dude, don't bring the football. Don't bring the fucking football. Ricky brings the football. It gets taken. He's like, man, I fucking told you. And then even though Doughboy knows he's going to get his ass kicked by these older kids, he goes up and he's like, give me the fucking football.
Kicks the dude in the fucking knee.
Going back to the whole John Singleton is setting shit up throughout this movie. Yes. It starts from there and it goes all the way through to this point where he's constantly sticking up for Ricky. He knows Ricky's potential and he's trying to keep him out of fucking danger and trouble. And he obviously loves the dude. He's his brother. But the dude walks away and a couple seconds later, you hear automatic gunfire. Everyone fucking starts to scatter. Trey and Ricky drive away. They get pulled over by the same goddamn cop from the beginning.
Once again, and I know we've basically had our fucking tongues in John Singleton's asshole this whole time, so deal with it.
We got a problem here?
Again, the storytelling here, how the black cop at the beginning, where he's talking to Trey, like, what's up, little man? How you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And before Furious tells him to get the fuck out of there because he knows what that guy is. To now, he sees Trey as a threat. He's nothing but a threat.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Dude, it's such great storytelling. It's so subtle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so well done. Like half the time you don't even realize what you're seeing until
it comes
like
up later.
3 scenes later, you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah. So then he goes back to Brandy's house and, you know, he's late to meet up with her. He's obviously upset from the interaction. Okay, this is the one. I only have a couple of issues with this movie. Like literally just a couple.
Yeah.
This is one. The whole swinging, this was overacted. You know, I always try to, when we watch these movies, I always try to put myself, like, how would I react in this moment?
Sure.
And my reaction, and we've talked about my anger issues, there'd probably be holes in the wall. Like, I would throw punches too. They would just be at things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just
well, I think that's that white people shit. Like, white people are wall punchers by and large.
I was going to go with Italian people shit, but like...
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have a bit of Italian in me, and I've punched the shit out of some walls in my life. So that's some white people shit.
Okay, I'll go with you there. There's some white people shit. But yeah, like that, just that scene. I didn't like the scene. But again, this scene leads up to Brandy comforting Trey here, and then giving up the skins. Here's the funny thing, all right? When I'm watching this movie, the only thing about this movie that's dated is are the terminology that they use. Because obviously terminology changes over the years. And and I don't know if it's a Cuba thing. I don't know if it's the terminology, but every time Cuba says, "Let me hit them skins."
So you gonna give me skins or what?
I kind of giggled like, oh, like that did not age well. Like that term I was like, oh, that's old.
Yeah. I heard Mark. I heard Buster. I heard skins.
But
like
Mark and Buster. I haven't heard it in forever, but like Mark and Buster seemed fine to me. Like I had no issues with that. But when I heard "Let me hit them skins," I don't know, 6-7 times out of Trey's mouth.
He's on the phone and he's like call waiting with his mother. He's like,
"So you gonna give me the skins or what?"
You were having a totally different conversation when you took your mother's phone call, and then you just jump right back into when you gonna let me hit them skins. So we're gonna go ahead and make this a two-sided PSA.
Okay.
Hi kids, Uncle Corey here. First and foremost, this is the most unrealistic scene in the movie. When you if you try and manufacture that rage and it's not going to get you laid, fellas. Doesn't work in real life.
No.
I know. I've tried it at some level. Doesn't work.
You've tried the sympathy lay?
Yeah, doesn't work. So avoid that. Part 2 of our PSA. We all understand that we want to have sex. It's fun. Quit fucking jamming it down, no pun intended, jamming it down people's fucking throats.
Yes.
Can I hit them skins? Can I hit them skins? Let me hit that. Let me get that. Let me sniff that. Stop.
Let me sniff that.
Look, there's some freaky deakies out there. I don't know.
The next scene after this is the next day. Ricky's girlfriend asks him to go get cornmeal. And then on his way out the door, Doughboy and him like get into a little bit of a verbal back and forth, and then they just start fighting on the front lawn. Their mom comes out, smacks the shit out of fucking Doughboy, and like, "Oh, Ricky, are you okay?" Ricky and Trey walk to the convenience store or whatever to go get the cornmeal. On the way back out, they see the car that they saw the other night, and they fucking bounce. They're running. This is part 2 of what I didn't like about this movie. So they get into an alley. 2 things. 1, Ricky here decides that he's got to take a piss in the middle of running for his life because he knows these motherfuckers got guns.
Dude, piss your pants. Piss your goddamn pants if you have to.
That's what I'm saying.
Come on.
Like,
Man, shut up. I don't care.
First off, you stop to take the piss.
Yeah.
Second, Trey, you're a dickhead because you let Ricky design the plan in this.
Well,
Ricky, of all the characters in this movie, is not setting up our escape plan. There's no fucking way. And you know why I know that? Because when he spots the car first, he just goes, oh shit, and does this. Turn to the side isn't going to help you. They can see you. You're not as skinny as I am. If I can turn to the side, I'm invisible, bitch. You ain't seeing nothing.
Yeah, you got it.
Third, you're walking down the alley after you've separated, and Ricky's just walking and scratching lottery tickets
like
not a care in the world.
Yeah, that's the thing that bothered me about this scene. So you have the pissing, the plan of splitting up, and then after they split up, like, I don't know, for me, you should still be a little bit scared. That's just me. But I really like this. This goes back to Ice Cube's intelligence in the movie. He sees the car speed by.
Yes.
And he immediately gets up and goes, shit. Because he knows that they're walking to the store. They all get in the car, except for Chris, because, you know, he's in the wheelchair. So this bitch is wheeling his ass down the street. Like,
yo, I can see why Chris is so fucking cut. Because that motherfucker can fly. Somebody needs to put that dude in the Paralympics.
Yeah, no shit.
My guy can go.
They all show up late, and this is after, you know, Ricky tries to outrun the bullets and can't, and he gets gunned down in the alley. I get the thing, you know, Ice Cube gets out. He's like, fuck, we got here too late. You have Trey and Doughboy here on the ground with Ricky.
There's a couple things I noticed here. One, Chris in the background for being like just kind of in the back, not having a speaking part here. Dude, he's acting his ass off.
Yes.
He's legit looking like he's about to cry. It was amazing. What Cuba Gooding does here with dude, this was heartbreaking, where he's just like, don't hurt him, watch his head. I was like, fuck, dude, this is rough.
Yeah. That
rough.
That whole scene. And what sucks about this is because that whole scene is great.
Yes.
And it's well acted all the way around. It's well written. It's well shot.
Yep.
And then you follow it up with this bullshit of taking him back home and putting him on the couch.
That's the only place they knew they had plastic.
That's the one thing that has fallen by the wayside. Like, I don't know if at your house, because I know old ass Italians put plastic on fucking everything. But like, you don't see plastic on furniture very much anymore. Like that's kind of fallen off. And like now it's just, put your feet up. Nobody gives a fuck. Like back then, everybody gave a shit about their furniture.
Right.
We're covering this shit in plastic because you fucking messy ass motherfuckers are going to fuck up my couch. But yeah, they take him back and they put him on the couch. The mom and the girlfriend go fucking crazy. Again, she blames Doe here.
Oh, dude.
Like, what did you do to have this happen?
Such a great scene.
Yeah.
Again, everybody's doing it. And he's just trying to help. And it's the only reason they took him home was to have this scene, have the reactions.
Oh, yeah.
For the mother, the girlfriend, the baby crying, getting to see what Doe's going through. But Doe here trying to, like, give me the baby. He doesn't need to be seeing this.
Yeah.
Like, he's trying to do the right. He's the only one, again, trying to do the right thing and actually worrying about everybody else.
Yes.
Trying to get the baby out of there because he doesn't need to see that shit, which 100% correct. You know, trying to hug his mother and just being like, you know, fuck, like, I get it.
Yeah.
But even then, he can't even get love from his mom. It's, what did you do? You killed him. You did this. And dude, when he's in the doorway, this is one of Ice Cube's best scenes. He's in the doorway, just not saying a fucking word.
Yeah.
Just totally shook from the way his mother was speaking to him and everything that's gone down. And Trey just rolls up and meet me at my house in 5 minutes. When he said that, I know what's going to happen because I've seen this movie like a billion fucking times.
Yeah.
Even then, I like stood up like, oh shit! All right, here we go. Here we go.
Like shit's about to go down. Trey then walks back home. Brandy gets to him and he's like, I ain't got fucking time for your bullshit. Then you have Furious getting home. He immediately, he pulls in. This is what I love about the Furious character in this. Like, he pulls in and immediately knows what the fuck's going on. He just looked around, saw like fucking cops, saw people crying, and he was like, oh, Ricky's dead. Goes into the house and sees Trey loading his like Colt 45 or whatever the fuck he has. And then he gives his monologue here.
Let me ask you, was this monologue different now that you're a father? Because I'm not a father. So this monologue only goes as far as I can understand in the acting. So did it mean more to you now because you're a father? Or was it just like, eh?
Let me explain why I'm laughing. Because if anybody knows my son, this monologue doesn't come into fucking play in my son's life. So, I mean, yes, a little bit. A lot of these monologues in movies like this, like the father to son, mean a little bit more now, just because I have a son. But regardless,
I didn't mean to resonate like you're gonna fucking have to go through this tomorrow. I just meant like just overall, you like to put yourself in this situation.
Yeah. It's, given the fact that, yes, I do have a son and it resonates more now because of that. I mean, because listen, the fact of the matter is when this movie came out, I was a fucking teenager.
Oh, sure.
And in my head, I'm just like, man, fuck this dude. I'm taking that gun and I'm blowing everybody away because that was Armando, teenager, New York Times. But now at the age I'm at, it resonates a lot more. And it's still a lot of these monologues that Furious gives throughout this movie. Mm-hmm. I've noticed now looking back how fucking epic they are. And how great it's delivered. Because when you're young, you're just full of piss and vinegar. And you're like, fuck that old dude. And as you get older, you realize that, like, oh shit, like he's fucking, these are life lessons. You know what I mean?
Right.
So Trey gives him the gun, goes into his room. Brandy comes over, goes in, notices that he jumped out the window. He's in Joe's car, and they're going after these dudes. About halfway through this, so maybe an hour and a half in, Trey finally realizes, like, man, I don't need to be here right now. I need to get the fuck out. So he asks Ice Cube to pull over. He needs to get out. Nobody says anything. Nobody calls him a bitch. Nobody. They just go, I get it. They don't say shit. They just pull over, get the fuck out, close the door, and we're back off, and we're looking for these dudes.
Yep. I loved it.
So that whole scene, we talk about nonverbal acting. Like, this is great nonverbal acting right here by everybody involved.
And they show all three of them. They show, obviously, Cuba says his line, let me out the car. Then they show Dookie. Dookie's kind of like, what the fuck? Like, you could tell he kind of is like, punk. And then Doe just kind of glances and you think he's going to say something. But he doesn't. Just pulls the fucking car over.
Yep.
Monster gets out. Trey gets out. Good to go. This is my one question. Is it normal when you're covered in blood to get out of the car and just go sit at the bus stop? Who the fuck is letting you on that bus, bro? You are covered in blood. You are drenched in blood. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Just like, thanks to public transportation is the best way to get home. The flashes they were doing between Trey in the car and Furious at home with his fucking Benoit balls or whatever those things are called. If you notice, the sound of those things spinning never stopped while the music was playing.
Yeah.
With them in the car.
Yeah.
And that was such a great addition to the tension. I thought. I really, really liked that.
By the way, just FYI, I don't know if they're called, I think Benoit balls are the ones you shove in your ass.
I think those are the only ones I know of.
Well, if he's shoving those in his ass, those balls are fucking huge.
Well, he shoved them in somebody else's ass, not his.
Whatever. That's
Furious style. He's taking shit up his ass.
So they finally roll up on the dudes that killed Ricky. They see him eating at some food joint. And again, this is the one question that I have for these guys. So they're like, oh shit, it's those dudes. They get up and bounce the fuck out, right? And they run through an empty parking lot. Dude, how about behind the building? How about, like, again, situational awareness? They run through this empty ass parking lot as fucking Ice Cube and Dude just start fucking unloading.
Well, here's my question. How far away did you park your fucking car? Like, you're all banging out and the parking lot's empty as shit. Where did you park?
Yes.
And I like this scene too, because right before Doe and them show up, they show those guys like they're getting burgers, whatever.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there having a conversation. Like, you just murdered somebody in cold fucking blood.
No.
Nothing. Didn't give a shit.
Ugats.
It was amazing.
They have fucking nothing. So they shoot the dudes. One dude is killed. Two of the other dudes are hurt. Ice Cube then gets out of the car, and Monster and Dookie are like, dude, get back in the fucking car. What are you doing? Ice Cube walks up, executes the one dude, and then walks up to the leader and makes him turn over on his back as he's crawling away, and then fucking puts two in him. He's done, runs back, and they peel the fuck out. This
is a good, I guess, life lesson here too. If you're going to start a meal, finish it.
Well put. The film here ends the following morning with a conversation between Trey and Doe on Trey's front stoop. Doe says that he understands why Trey left last night, and they have this really great back and forth.
Shouldn't have been there in the first place.
When I was a kid and first saw this movie, I didn't appreciate, we talked about how we didn't appreciate what Furious was saying.
Yeah.
The gravity of what Doughboy is saying here and how it still rings so fucking true to this day.
30 years
later.
All
these people talking about all this violence, a world of violence going on overseas.
Yep.
Nobody's talking about what happened to my brother yesterday.
Yes.
Fucking unbelievable. And it was made so much fun of. It seems weird now that people made fun of it, but it was mocked so often that either they don't know, don't show, or just don't care what's going on in the hood.
Yeah.
But dude, the way he delivers that, and he's defeated, dude.
Yeah.
He's just defeated at that point. And he says, I'll probably get smoked, soon too. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to care.
Yep.
Knowing that, understanding that Rick was everybody's hope. Rick was the one that was going to make it out.
Yeah.
And when he died, dude, that's when it all just fell apart.
The ending of this show that Doughboy was murdered 2 weeks later. Trey went on to college with Brandy out in Atlanta. This movie back then was very good.
Yes.
I think we talk about how movies age. Did it age well? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the whole purpose of what we do here. This movie was good back then. I consider this one like a wine. It's only gotten better with age. Oh. Like it's not only aged well, like it's gotten better. And
it resonated, and again, my age, but the times we live in, Black Lives Matter movement happening.
Yeah.
The amount of violence we still see, the divide happening everywhere. Everything in this movie hit hard, so much harder than it did the first 5, 8, 10 times I've seen this movie.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, this moved into my top 10 of all time. This is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, you got it.
Yes, I think this holds up. I think you think this holds up as well.
Better now than it was then.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen this movie, absolutely take the time, rent it on Amazon or wherever you stream your stuff. But yeah, this movie's a fucking banger. Dig it. But for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1991's Boyz N The Hood.